Good men. If you ask a modern woman about them, they'll probably look back at you with a sigh of exhaust and a glimmer of skepticism in their eye. Kind of like a child who's long since tired of seeking out the myths and magical creatures of their childhood imagination here in real life. Men of courage, valor, chivalry, character. Men who don't apologize for being men because they're wise enough to know that they have enough merit in things to apologize for. Leaders of the home, the community, the nation. Good fathers, faithful husbands, cornerstone of the family, and thus foundation of a nation. I mean, that's really what we're talking about when we talk about the quality of men. So what's gone wrong? Who or what is to blame for their extinction? When we talk about societal ills, from crime rates to failing schools, from violence to poverty, aren't we really dancing around the elephant in the room? Good men have gone the way of the buffalo, and we're living with the consequences. And here's what they don't tell you today. The father is paramount. The husband, crucial. We're talking about the complete and total meltdown, devastation of the family unit. I happen to think in many ways that's the cancer. Everything else is just a symptom of that cancer. Men not being there, not being faithful, not raising their children, not finding that pivotal point of purpose in our society is the cancer. Fatherless rates in some facets of our society have reached 70%, and the rest of the country is hard on its heels. Husbands now trade in wives like used cars with alarming regularity. And let's be honest, too many men who are around, they choose a flat screen, an armchair, and a remote over a couch with their son, hugs with their daughters. And of course, there's many men who elude this generalization with shining colors. I know that. There's some wonderful guys. There's some really, really wonderful men, the pillars of our society. The point of this video is that they're quickly becoming the rarity. I think to deny this means you're just not paying attention. That missing masculine presence in our country is devastating. We've become an emotive, irrational, dependent nanny-state nation. Not surprisingly, the very things that the male nature is meant to push back on, the counterbalance. Only fathers can turn sons into men. Our single mothers, like heroes, are trying to put their fingers in inevitable dams that are breaking all around them. These single mothers were never meant to play that dual role. Children need their fathers just as badly as they need their mothers, even though they don't tell you that on television, even though your college professor forgets to mention it. We're hemorrhaging, cracking, crumbling as a culture, and I contend that the missing mortar in our ruinous Rome is good men. To stem this tide, I think the first thing we need to do is admit we've been wrong. We need to admit the fact that these regressive ideas about gender irrelevance are wrong, and they're poisonous, despite the fact that they perfume our PC sensibilities. We need to reestablish that timeless truth that our mangled modern minds want to avoid. We need to humble ourselves enough in order to get enough wisdom to relearn these staples. Young men need to step up, and much, much, much more should be expected of them. When they shirk or irresponsibly avoid their responsibilities, they shouldn't receive shelter. They should receive shame. Fathers need to first seek out what God expects from them, and then discipline their lives to that implementation. Listen, the stakes are too high. The consequences of not doing this are way too great. I throw myself right into the crowd before the firing squad shoots. We have failed our children, we have failed our wives, we have failed our God, and there's really just no way of getting around that. Women need good men, and children need good fathers. Good men of godliness, work ethic, discipline, and leadership. There isn't a plan B, there isn't an alternative option. We either choose to raise good men of character and righteousness, or we rot from within. This is the time of choosing.